And hello again! Hello and welcome to Stardate 20x7. This is the second part of my video series where I showcase Stardate sets of levels for Doom 2. Stardate was created by Ribbiks and consists of two installments. We already have completed 20x6 last time, and now we're gonna tackle its amazing sequel, Stardate 20x7. When we left off, we have just destroyed a giant pillar of energy deep within an alien base. And right now we're enjoying a leisurely camping getaway with our heterosexual life partner Chris. Yeah, I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. But yeah, once again we enter the world of surreal purple landscapes, but this time things are a bit different. 20x6 was still fairly traditional in many ways. There weren't many crazy gimmicks and encounters that couldn't be beaten by the good old running and gunning. However, 20x7 is a completely different beast, and on ultra-violence it can be described as a puzzle wad. The scenarios are essentially riddles, and our goal is to discover the right answer to them. We have to carefully analyze the given situation, find the intended solution, and then execute it flawlessly. Failure, more often than not, means instant death. The monster count is not as high as before. The levels are generally shorter and smaller, but the extremely high difficulty and encounters that require very specific solutions mean that 20x7 is a lot harder than its predecessor. In addition to that, there's another element that separates those two map sets: ammo scarcity. In 20x7 we won't find boxes of ammunition laying around everywhere. We usually get just enough to get by, and we have to be constantly mindful of our supplies. As a result, 20x7 is a lot more focused on dealing with enemies through infighting and melee. These are the main reasons why in this series I'm changing the format a little bit. In 20x6 I do a short intro about the level structure and then comment over an uninterrupted run. However, considering the length of the maps in 20x7 and the much more complex nature of many encounters, I'll be doing a few extra things along the way to make sure that I get to say everything that I want to say and that you actually have a proper context for the situation. I hope that this will make those videos more interesting and informative than before. Anyway, that's it for the introduction, and right now let's begin our magnificent journey through Stardate 20x7. The first level is called Sun, Moon, Stars. Sun, Moon, Stars is a beautiful map set in a town on a whimsical island. It's a place of greenery, purple waterfalls, and fanciful shapes. I mean, just look at how pretty it looks on the auto map, it's really quite stunning. The progression is open and quite esoteric. There's a number of switches and potential routes, so let me take a moment to explain it to you. Our goal is to collect two keys, purple and yellow. These can be used to access the path to the exit. The purple key is in the pillar near the main building, while the yellow sits in a small tower to the north. The latter seems inaccessible, however, one of the buildings to the east contains this mysterious double switch with the purple and red side. This can be used to open and close the staircase made of a damaging sludge that leads to the key, and the floor that lowers around the switch itself is a clue for that. The purple key can be accessed through the big building to the west. There are two possible ways inside, the regular one and a secret one. In order to open the normal way, we have to go to the north where we can find two switches. The saddle switch with the green stripes lowers the bars with the same stripes to the east and opens a way to the switch that lowers the lift near the eastern building. But we'll get to that in a minute. The lion switch unlocks the lift with the skull that grants us access to the main building. There are several ambushes in that area, and one of them involves an Archvile and two Hell Knights. The secret entrance leads through the window. It may seem like the only difference is getting the plasma rifle faster, but actually jumping through that window activates a crusher that kills the Archvile before he has a chance to warp in. I wouldn't rush it though, because if you're too fast then the vial might not get crushed fast enough and teleport in regardless. The lift near the eastern building can be lowered or raised as much as we want via switches right next to it. Raising it gives us an access to a couple of new areas. Jumping to the north takes us to the switch that raises a pillar, which allows us to jump through the secret window. However, going through that little portal with the purple bars to the west also opens a wall to the east. That area requires a yellow key and leads us to the cube switch that unlocks a secret mega armor in the room with the double switch. Yeah, this is a very Ribbiks level, kind of hard to grasp on the first playthrough. There are also two optional areas in this map. One of them is a pit with a soul sphere, and the other is a little tower in the southeast corner that can be opened with either a purple or a yellow key. Finally, I'd also like to mention this dead imp on the black metal square in the southern end of the island. Now, this imp fascinates me. It serves completely no purpose and he's not even visible from the main area of the map. The only way to legitimately get to him, as far as I can say, is by making an Archvile jump over the southeast edge of the island, but even if we get there, that doesn't really do anything for us. Interesting. I suppose that this might have some kind of a meaning, but that meaning is probably only clear to Ribbiks himself. Anyway, this intro has been going for long enough. Let's take a look at the demo. Alright, let's go. First, let's grab a couple of armor bonuses and a few health potions. Also, don't forget those 2 pistol clips, and now let's move on to the island. Now quickly, grab the shotgun, grab the armor, and then take care of the shotgunners. We are near the 2 switches, but before we press them, let's trigger the ambush. Yeah, kill those sergeants and then try to trigger some infighting between the Hell Knights and the Revenant. In general, we want to get as much infighting going on as possible. There's a lot of enemies here, including Arachnotrons and another Revenant that we need to take care of. Yeah, that's the one. And now that he has shot the Hell Knight, we can move on. Now it's time to take care of those chain gunners. These guys can cause you a lot of pain, so make sure to get rid of them as quickly as possible. Here I'm gonna try to get the Arachnotron angry with the Mancubus, but unfortunately it's not gonna be that easy. They just don't want to line up properly. Oh, there we go. Now let's go back and take care of the remaining monsters from the first encounter. Yeah, there's an Arachnotron and there's also gonna be a Revenant. Now let's take the shells and go around the pit. This little thing on the ground with the health potions is where the staircase leading to the yellow key is gonna open. And in the meantime, let's drop down to the pit with the soul sphere. I'm immediately lowering the lift because that triggers another Revenant to warp in. Then take care of the chain gunners and focus on the imps. There's no reason to attack the tougher monsters yet. I like to get them to infight and escape to save some ammo. Actually, you can escape right away if you want to play it safe. You just have to be careful with that lift because it takes forever to get back up again. But this encounter isn't very difficult, so you might as well just stay here. Okay, it's time to go now. We need to secure the main lift, but there are 4 Archviles on top of it. So we're gonna go after the yellow key first, because there's a rocket launcher that we can grab along the way. The launcher is in a room with a double switch that allows us to access the yellow key. See that lift behind the Arachnotron? That's where we wanna go. I'm not sure why I decided to circle around the whole area. I guess I wanted to avoid the vials, but they wouldn't be able to attack me this quickly. This switch raises the pillar that helps us get to the building with a double switch. And here we go, the yellow key is unlocked. It's not possible to avoid taking damage on that staircase, so you better have some extra health. And there's the key. 2 rockets are not enough to deal with the vials, so we're gonna have to go to the optional little tower. This fight is interesting. The Archvile might scare you at first, but there's no reason to panic when you have so much space to run around. Even if he resurrects someone, that's not really a problem, because you can just get all of them to infight. These rockets are the reason why we came here. We can use a few of them to finish off the Archvile. And now it's just a matter of cleaning up. There's no double barrel shotgun in this level, so killing tougher monsters is actually pretty obnoxious. This is a good example. I was hoping that the Revenant would actually shoot the Mancubus from behind, but unfortunately that didn't happen. I actually like it when the map doesn't give you the double barrel shotgun, because that weapon is just too universal. Anyway, we have a couple of rockets so we can kill those Archviles now. You can kill them with other weapons as well, but this is just way faster. That's where the bars with the green stripes used to be, and this is also one of the potential sources of confusion in this level. Because of the Archviles, it's more likely you're gonna find the switch to the bars before you see the bars themselves. And if that happens, you're probably gonna be wondering what was the purpose of this switch in the first place. Honestly, it's pretty impressive that a level this small can be so confusing. Okay, everything is dead, so we can start messing around with that lift. We need to raise the lift 8 times before we're able to do the required jumps. Actually, I think it's supposed to be 9, but with strafe running we can get away with only raising it 8 times. I'm gonna go in that direction first. Like I said before, there's a switch there that will allow us to make the jump to the secret window. And yeah, now the platform with the berserk is raised. Next, I'm gonna jump into the secret window, but without entering the main building. I wanna make sure that the archvile gets crushed before I go there. And also, now the area that requires the yellow key is unlocked. So we're gonna go there now because we need the mega armor for the big building. There's nothing particularly difficult there, but it's better safe than sorry. And we need to trigger that secret anyway. So yeah, we needed to go through that portal with armor bonuses to unlock this place. Honestly, I don't think this is indicated in any way. On the first playthrough you'll probably just notice that this area is open at some point and you have no idea why. I actually like that aspect of this map. It's kinda confusing and strange, but at the same time it's very small, so that's not really that big of a deal. And that's the switch that unlocks the secret mega armor. But before we go there, I'm gonna take care of the monsters that I left in the pit. And yeah, that cube switch is probably also gonna confuse you, because I don't think you can actually see what it does from where you press it. There it is. So now let's go to the main building. Now actually what I'm doing right now is a mistake, because I'm trying to jump into the main building through the window again. And that's not gonna end well for me, because there are a lot of revenants there and pretty much no room to dodge. I should have just used the regular entrance. Yeah, I've already triggered the crusher, so it would have been safer to just go for the other way. Just like everything else in this level, this room has a pretty strange progression. This little tunnel has an invisible trigger line that lowers the box on the other side of the room, and behind that box there's a switch that lowers the box with a Hell Knight, and that allows us to either go to the exit or to the balcony with revenants. There's also another invisible trigger line near the armor bonuses, and that lowers the lift that lets us get the soul sphere. And that's where we're going right now. See, we go into the alcove and the rim around the box lowers. This is a pretty easy encounter, just make sure to not run out of space. After we're done with this, we're gonna go to the Revenant balcony. There's a switch there that will unlock the path towards the purple key. Also, don't take my word on it, but I think it's actually possible to bypass both of the keys and go to the exit without them. I seem to remember it's possible to get on top of the cliff from here, and that lets you just go to the exit. But you'll still have to survive this entire room in order to get there. Okay, the way forward is unlocked. When we drop into the box, monsters warp in around it. You probably couldn't tell, but we have to press that pillar in order to lower the walls. Oh yeah, and that pain elemental was there from the very beginning. I could have killed him before, but he actually helps with the infighting a little bit. So in 20x6 it took us a while to get to the levels that were actually really hard. But in 20x7, well, this is probably the only easy level in the entire set. Every single map from here on out is gonna be very difficult, and probably more difficult than anything in 20x6. 20x6 was still very forgiving in many ways, with just a few exceptions. But in 20x7, a lot of situations do not leave you any room for mistakes at all. So yeah, very interesting times ahead. In the meantime, let's finish off those last few enemies, and then let's go to the exit. And that's it. Now let's go take care of the Baron that guards the exit. I bet you don't even remember him. There he is. There's no reason to kill him earlier, he's not really in the way. And if you're lucky, he might even start infighting with some other monsters. So yeah, we're pretty much done here. Just a few more monsters near the exit and that's it. Really cool level. I'm not sure why people don't like it. Maybe it's because it's so confusing on the first playthrough. I don't know when the next video is gonna be, maybe in a week, maybe in 2 weeks, maybe in a month, who knows. Basically, whenever I feel like working on it. This one was fun because the demo is not even 10 minutes long, so compare that to Magnus, that was like 41 minutes or something. Okay, everything is done. Press the switch, go up the lift, and well, let's see what happens next.